Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Watch my video and subscribe my channel. Finn forces Grace to admit that her cancer diagnosis was fake, revealing $1 million scam. Bold and the beautiful spoiler-to-spoil event that Dr. Finn reveals switch Grace Buckingham's stunning lie. Liam never had precede expedient. Bullet Weneverliard. Grace fabricated scans for Bill's $1 million. When the truth comes out, Hope and Liam's lives fall apart. $1 million medical fraud exposed. Finn uncovers Grace's shocking cancer scam. The truth will destroy everything. Liam was never going to die. Soap aficionados, get ready to pick your jaws up off the floor. Just when we thought we'd seen every imaginable twist on The Bold and the Beautiful, the program delivers a bombshell that's ready to devastate numerous lives. Dr. John Finn Finnegan has found the worst medical fraud in the show's history. Grace Buckingham faked Liam Spencer's brain cancer diagnosis to steal $1 million from Bill Spencer. I'm still trying to deal with this betrayal. And honestly, I should have known it was going to happen. The $1 million lie falls apart. Let's speak about how this whole mess got started. When Liam was diagnosed with a deadly brain tumor, we all saw Hope Logan break apart. The tragedy drew her and Liam closer than they'd been in years, which should have been our first clue that something wasn't right. When has anything ever been that simple for these two? But here's where it gets really twisted. Grace, a cardiologist, mind you, suddenly become a brain surgery expert overnight? The red flags were waving, but everyone was too upset to notice. Everyone except Finn. Our good doctor has been suspicious from day one. The lack of medical records, the way Grace dodged his calls and texts, the fact that Liam recovered faster than anyone who's actually had brain surgery, it all came up to one horrible conclusion. Finn forces the truth out. Finn's not the sort to let anything this enormous slip. When he found that Bill had paid Grace a cool $1 million for the experimental procedure, that was the final piece of the puzzle. A cardiologist performing cutting-edge brain surgery for a big cash payment? Please. In true Finn flair, he's taking matters into his own hands. He's hauling Grace directly to Bill's house to confess everything. No more falsehoods. No more excuses. Just the awful, devastating reality that's about to wreck numerous lives. Can you imagine being Hope in this moment? She's been grieving, supporting Liam, putting her own life on hold. And for what? A lie? The fallout will be catastrophic. If Grace believed she could falsify cancer tests and walk away with Bill's money, she certainly doesn't know the Spencer family. Bill doesn't just get upset, he gets revenge. We're talking scorched earth. Destroy your entire life level retribution. That sword necklace is certainly coming back out. And what about Hope and Liam? This common experience pushed them closer, but now that it's all been exposed as a fraud, the emotional whiplash alone might kill any chance they had. Hope recently got engaged to Carter Walton, but will this unexpected revelation send her spiraling back into Liam's arms? Or would the betrayal of being misled, like Way, push them further apart? Why did Grace do it? Here's what's really eating at me. Why? Was Grace anxious for money? Those weird phone calls she kept getting suggest maybe she was being blackmailed. Or is this just another chapter in the Buckingham family's criminal legacy? Remember what her ex-husband Reese did with baby Beth. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, apparently. Using medical credentials to commit crimes seems to be the Buckingham family business. The ultimate betrayal. What makes this even more horrible is that Grace played with people's worst anxieties. She made Liam believe he was dying. She watched Hope crumble apart. She let Bill pour money at an issue that didn't even exist. All for what? To enrich her own pockets. Finn's emergence as the hero of this novel is no surprise. While everyone else was swept up in the emotion, he stayed focused on the facts. He's the only one with the medical knowledge and the moral compass to expose this deception. Once again, he's proving he's one of the few genuinely good individuals left in Los Angeles. Mark my words, When Steffi Forrester returns from maternity leave and hears about this, the way Finn shielded the Spencer family from this con artist, it's going to reinforce his status as the moral core of this program. What happens next? The encounter at Bill's residence is going to be explosive. Grace will try to explain, maybe claim she was forced into it, but who's going to believe her now? She took advantage of a family's darkest nightmare for financial gain. There's no getting back from it. Will Liam need actual medical attention after knowing the truth? The psychological pain of believing you're dying, only to find out it was all a scam? That's enough to mess with anyone's head. And considering Liam's inclination to spiral, this could throw him off the deep end. As for Grace, prison is the least of her worries. She's staring at losing her medical license, facing fraud charges, and coping with the fury of Dollar Bill Spencer. Good luck with it. Will this bombshell revelation reset the entire Hope-Liam-Steffi triangle? With Liam no longer dying, all bets are off. The writers adore their dramatic resets, and this cancer hoax aftermath is the perfect opportunity to change things up. Again, one thing's for certain. Dr. Grace Buckingham just become the most loathed character on daytime television. Move over, Sheila Carter. There's a new villain in town, and she's wearing a white coat smeared with lies. The air in Los Angeles turned poisonous the instant Dr. John Finnegan unraveled the worst medical scandal in bold and the beautiful history. A plan so wicked, so stunning in its cruelty, that even the most seasoned daytime viewers are battling to breathe. Grace Buckingham, the enigmatic cardiologist with a hidden agenda and a crisp white coat, orchestrated a monstrous lie. Liam Spencer never had brain cancer, and the $1 million bill Spencer shelled out for his sons. So-called experimental surgery was funneled into a shadowy bank account tied to Grace's growing empire of deception. This wasn't just a scam. It was emotional warfare, hitting the heartstrings of a shattered family. From the moment Liam received his terminal diagnosis, his world spun into chaos. Hope Logan collapsed in grief. Their fractured love reignited through tragedy. Carter Walton's engagement began to quietly implode, and Bill, gruff, haunted Bill, became a desperate father willing to pay any price to save his son. But none of it was real. Not the tumor, not the brain scans, not the amazing surgery that had everyone worshipping Grace like a god. It was all a smoke show constructed on false MRI pictures, ghost patients, and scripted consultations delivered in hushed tones by a lady whose medical qualifications now hang on the brink of humiliation. The entire time, Finn watched from the wings, uneased by Grace's evasions, her refusal to share records, her apparent knowledge in neurology, while specialized in hearts, not brains. It gnawed at him. He saw through the cloud of emotion and linked the dots no one else could stand to face. And when he discovered the final piece, the untraceable money trail, the surgery records doctored to perfection, the inconsistencies in Liam's so-called recovery, he snapped into action, dragging Grace by the arm straight to Bill's mansion, determined to lay bare every inch of the truth in front of the man she swindled and the family she devastated. What ensued was a televised firestorm. Grace tried to explain, tears welling, screaming she was threatened, coerced, blackmailed. But Bill wasn't hearing a word. The Spencer patriarch's rage shouted like an earthquake, promising revenge with the fervor of a father who'd watched his son die in his mind every single day. He didn't just want justice, he wanted obliteration. Hope sank onto the floor, stunned from the realization that her sacrifice, her devotion, her endless vigil beside Liam's bed was for naught. And Liam? The psychological shrapnel tore through him. How does a guy come back from thinking he was dying? How does he look at himself, at his father, at Hope, knowing he let a falsehood to define his reality? The guilt twisted into wrath. Steffi, returning from maternity, leave just in time for the explosion, stood in amazement at Finn's tireless search of truth. While the city wept, he stood tall, moral, principled, upright, a beacon in a sea of depravity. Steffi didn't just see a husband. She saw a hero, a protector of families, the one man who didn't disintegrate when emotions grew heavy. Meanwhile, Carter Walton experienced heartbreak as Hope's eyes strayed back toward Liam, not out of love, but bewilderment, pain, betrayal, and shared grief twisted into something raw and unfinished. And while Ridge and Brooke fought to calm their own damaged dynamic, the ripple effects of Grace's deception permeated into every area of the Forrester and Spencer clans. The Logan sisters were startled, and even Donna couldn't find words. Katie, enraged, started examining Grace's financials alongside Justin Barber, who smelled a scandal worse than anyone realized. The hospital board held an emergency meeting. Lee Finnegan, already humiliated by another doctor ruining her hospital's brand, prepared for full revocation proceedings. As Grace was carried out in handcuffs, her doom sealed by Finn's proof, she gave one last glance, cold, calculating, and not even mildly regretful. Was this just the beginning? Were others involved? Who was calling Grace late at night, whispering threats? Was Reese behind this somehow, manipulating turmoil from the shadows? The writers kept that breadcrumb trail open, hinting that while Grace may be gone, the ramifications of her treachery were just beginning. Liam's mental state grew precarious. He began hearing things, seeing shadows. Was it PTSD? Or something more? Did the falsehood awaken a part of him long dormant, something dangerous? Hope, shocked to her core, no longer knew who she was or what she wanted. She loved Carter, but could she trust herself after falling so completely for a lie? Bill began hiring detectives not only to punish Grace, but to make sure this never occurs again to anyone. Brooke, still hurting from her own recent ordeal in Italy, lent her voice to public outcry against medical fraud. Even Sheila Carter, now attempting repentance, observed that Grace went too far, and when she's shocked, you know it's awful. Through it all, Finn stuck the course, telling the audience that integrity's still important in Los Angeles. And in doing so, he became the show's new moral compass, more than Steffi's husband, more than a doctor. He became the light in a world scorched by lies, greed, and emotional manipulation. But make no mistake, the wreckage left behind by Grace Buckingham's million-dollar deceit won't be wiped up easily. Marriages will be tested, families will fracture, and somewhere in the serenity of Liam's newly cancer-free mind, a new darkness brews. Because once you've believed you were dying, you never see life the same way again. Katie Logan's mental battle against Taylor Hayes has reached its breaking point. Katie Logan performs psychological warfare on Taylor Hayes to make her doubt Ridge and back her sister Brooke's assertions about her destiny. Katie's planned attack on Taylor sends shockwaves through L.A. The Logan sisters' mental battle has reached new, frightening depths. Katie Logan has just launched her most brutal attack yet in the Logan-Forrester duel. The gloves are now off. The youngest Logan sister is done playing nice when it comes to maintaining Brooke Logan's destiny with Ridge Forrester. What was her goal? A weak Taylor Hayes who is clinging on to her engagement ring like it's a life preserver in choppy waters. The mind games begin. Let's talk about what's really happening here. Katie isn't simply providing her sister's adversary charming suggestions. She's putting together a master class in psychological manipulation that would make even a licensed psychiatrist's head spin. That's the lovely irony, isn't it? The woman who used to be the moral compass of the Logan family is now playing Taylor, the famed psychiatrist, like a fiddle. What makes Katie's campaign so devastatingly effective is how she's customizing her attacks to each person's flaws. With Taylor, she's laying seeds of doubt about Ridge's commitment, reminding her, oh so gently, that she's always been his second choice. The rebound woman. The consolation prize he runs to when things with Brooke go south. And you know what? Katie's not wrong. History repeating itself again. Here's where things become quite fascinating. Taylor has been down this path before, multiple times actually. She's been dead twice, married to Ridge twice, and dumped for Brooke more times than we can count. You'd think a psychiatrist would recognize a pattern when it's slapping her in the face, but love makes fools of us all. Katie's timing couldn't be more perfect. Taylor just put the engagement ring on her finger after proposing to Ridge herself. Desperate much? And she's striving to convince everyone, including herself, that this time is different. But with Katie whispering doubts in one ear and Eric Forrester actually tugging Ridge back into Brooke's arms, Taylor's waging a futile battle. The bold and beautiful spoilers. Katie Logan's psychological warfare against Taylor Hayes reaches breaking point. Katie Logan starts psychological warfare against Taylor Hayes, eroding her confidence in Ridge while boosting sister Brooke's destiny claims. Katie's calculated attack on Taylor sends shockwaves through LA. The Logan sisters' psychological warfare reaches dangerous new heights. The gloves are officially off in the Logan Forrester feud, and Katie Logan has just launched her most brutal attack yet. The youngest Logan sister is done playing nice when it comes to maintaining Brooke Logan's destiny with Ridge Forrester. Her target? A vulnerable Taylor Hayes, who's anxiously holding to her engagement ring like it's a life preserver in wild seas. The mind games begin. Let's talk about what's really happening here. Katie isn't simply providing her sister's adversary charming suggestions. She's putting together a masterclass in psychological manipulation that would make even a licensed psychiatrist's head spin. That's the lovely irony, isn't it? The woman who used to be the moral compass of the Logan family is now playing Taylor, the famed psychiatrist, like a fiddle. What makes Katie's campaign so devastatingly effective is how she's customizing her attacks to each person's flaws. With Taylor, she's laying seeds of doubt about Ridge's commitment, reminding her, oh so gently, that she's always been his second choice. The rebound woman. The consolation prize he runs to when things with Brooke go south. And you know what? Katie's not wrong. History repeating itself again. Here's where things become quite fascinating. Taylor has been down this path before, multiple times actually. She's been dead twice, married to Ridge twice, and dumped for Brooke more times than we can count. You'd think a psychiatrist would recognize a pattern when it's slapping her in the face. But love makes fools of us all. Katie's timing couldn't be more perfect. Taylor just put the engagement ring on her finger after proposing to Ridge herself. Desperate much? And she's striving to convince everyone, including herself, that this time is different. But with Katie whispering doubts in one ear and Eric Forrester actually tugging Ridge back into Brooke's arms, Taylor's waging a futile battle. See also, bold and the beautiful spoilers. Brad Bell confirms Ridge and Brooke are endgame after Italy accident. The real question, what's Katie's endgame? Now here's where the speculation gets hot. Is Katie actually just being a loyal sister? Or is there something sinister at play? Some fans are claiming that this could be Katie's twisted vengeance for Brooke's affair with Bill Spencer Jr. years ago. Think about it. By dragging Brooke back into the lunacy of her relationship with Ridge, Katie ensures her sister stays far away from Bill and caught in an everlasting cycle of grief and reconciliation. If that's true, it's completely lovely in the most twisted way possible. What happens when Taylor snaps? Here's the trouble of pushing sensitive persons too far. Ultimately, they break. And when they shatter, they either crumble utterly or they come back swinging. Taylor's previously proved she's capable of violence. Remember when she shot Bill? And this recent humiliation might just drive her over the edge. Could we see Taylor ultimately wake up and realize she deserves better than being Ridge's lifelong backup plan? Might she build a powerful new alliance with someone who opposes Ridge as much as she's starting to? Bill Spencer and Nick Marone are both waiting in the wings, and either one would make a terrific revenge romance. Or will Taylor do what she always does, tuck her tail between her legs and flee away to lick her wounds? Probably under the cover of some missionary activity overseas? The Logan Forrester war escalates. What's apparent is that Katie's actions are about to have major implications. Steffi Forrester is already protective of her mother, and when she finds out how the Logan sisters are tag-teaming to destroy Taylor's happiness, the gloves will fall off completely. That uneasy reconciliation between Steffi and Hope Logan? Consider it ancient history. This is larger than just Ridge selecting between two women again. This is about family devotion, generational feuds, and the extent people will go to protect their own. Katie's proving she's not the innocent, naive Logan sister anymore. She's a clever player who knows just which buttons to push. The actual shame here is that Ridge continues to be the prize in this decades-long conflict, and honestly, he's not worth it. But that won't stop these ladies from tearing each other apart over him. The breaking point is coming. With Katie undermining Taylor's confidence, Brooke waiting in the wings, and Ridge being his regular wishy-washy self, something's got to give. Taylor's vulnerability post-breakup, because let's be honest, we all know how this ends, could lead her down a dark path. Will she lash out? Will she ultimately see the light and stop letting Ridge use her as his consolation prize? Or will she realize what Katie's really up to and flip the tables? One thing's for sure, when a woman who's been pushed to her limits finally pushes back, Los Angeles better brace itself for the fallout. And if Taylor teams up with the right ally for revenge, the Logan sisters won't know what hit them. Brooke flies off Nick's boat, Ridge dives in Taylor's awful news. The bold and the beautiful teasers for the next 2 weeks, August 4th to August 15th, indicate that Brooke Logan will go flying from Nick Marone's boat while Ridge Forrester takes serious action. Taylor Hayes will also get some awful news, so here's what B&B fans may expect. During the week of August 4th to 8th, Eric Forrester will decide he'd best find Ridge and warn him about Nick's marriage proposal plan. After Eric briefs his son about the ring Nick has with him, he'll encourage Ridge to stop Brooke from becoming Nick's fiancée. Ridge will actually sprint to stop Brooke. He'll be sat on the back of Nick's boat by then. Nick will take one peek at Ridge and start driving like a crazy to get the boat away from him. But that'll prove to be a fatal error. Once Brooke flies from the boat and tumbles into the ocean, Ridge will dive in after her. This will offer Ridge the chance to rescue Brooke and finally let her know she's the woman he actually desires. Next, John Finnegan will click some remaining piece together and face Grace Buckingham, who'll purportedly confess that she tricked Liam Spencer with a bogus tumor and a needless therapy.